Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are changing fluids on the C4, and we are going to start with the power steering fluid. Take a look at how dirty this fluid is, guys. It looks brown and it should be clear. So we're going to take care of this right now. One interesting quirk about this power steering reservoir is to tighten it, you go to the left. To loosen it, you go to the right. So righty-loosey, lefty-tighty, which is pretty weird. I'm not sure what the purpose is behind that. If you guys know, let me know in the comments below. So to get the old fluid out, I'm gonna use a combination of this turkey baster and this bottle pump. And I'm just gonna empty out the old fluid into these cups. And then I'm gonna put in new fluid. And once I put in the new fluid, I'm gonna turn on the car and move the steering wheel back and forth a couple times to make sure that the new fluid gets pumped throughout the system. And I'm gonna go ahead and repeat that process until the fluid that's coming out of the reservoir is clear, because there's more fluid in the system than what's in the reservoir. There you go, it's brown. So as you guys can see, as I'm draining this fluid out, it looks pretty red, which leads me to believe that this is transmission fluid. I've read on some forums that some people prefer to use ATF in their power steering system. I never have, and I don't know when this fluid was changed out last, so I'm going to continue to flush it out and use traditional power steering fluid. All right guys, so the reservoir is empty. That's how much was in there. So now I'm gonna refill it and turn the car on, turn the steering wheel, get the new fluid pumped throughout the system, and then repeat. This is just some older fluid I had laying around, so I thought I'd use it for this. Now that I've shown you guys how I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do the rest off camera. It's basically just the same process, repeated a few times. And when I'm done, I'll show you the color of the fluid from each stage. All right guys, so check it out. Took about 10 cycles or 10 flushes to get the fluid to where I want it. And probably about 4.5 bottles of power steering fluid. So there you go. Here's a look down into the reservoir. As you can see to the bottom. So the fluid is really clear and looks good. Let's go for a quick ride to make sure I didn't break anything. And let's do it with the top off. All right guys, we're off. And full disclosure, I've never actually driven this car with the top off. I know that's dumb, but it's true. So far, the power steering feels good. I want to say that there's a slight improvement and that it feels a little smoother, but nothing that would be significant or like night and day. right, guys, power steering feels good. Let's go back home and check the fluid level. So I know that in some of my videos, my car looks dirty, and it's just because I honestly don't have time to wash it before every video. So sometimes it is dirty. Someone left a comment that my car looks beat to hell. I thought that was pretty funny. Apparently dirty to him means beat to hell. What do you guys think of that? I think he really doesn't know what beat to hell looks like. All right, here we go, full send. Whoa. Whenever I do a hard acceleration, I can hear this rattling noise, and it sounds to me like it's coming from the exhaust, almost like the catalytic converter is falling apart and is just rattling. I'll talk about it more in another video and try and get a good sound clip for you guys, but if you have any initial thoughts on that, I'd love to hear them. So let's check the fluid. Car felt good, and driving with the top off is really fun. There's a lot less rattles when you have the top off, that's for sure. Fluid level looks good, guys. So now that that's done, let's talk about other fluids. So as far as brake fluid goes, the previous owner did flush and replace the brake fluid. As you can see, these reservoirs are pretty clear and the fluid in there is pretty clear. So I think that's good to go. The previous owner also did a coolant flush and the coolant looks good, so that is good to go. If you guys remember back in part 2 of this series, I changed the oil. And if you remember back in part 3, I changed the washer fluid. If you guys missed that video, I highly recommend checking it out. I'll put a link in the description below. I totally screwed up and replaced the washer fluid pump when I didn't really need to. I just am an idiot and didn't know how to work the button. So check that out. We've all done stupid things with cars, and that's one of mine. So that basically leaves the transmission fluid and the rear differential fluid, which I am going to have a shop do because I don't feel like doing that in my garage on jack stands. So I'm gonna take it to a shop. It's a shop that I've been wanting to try out. It's just south of Salt Lake City, and I hear good things about them. They do a lot of high performance stuff with cars, and I wanna see if they do a good job. So I'm gonna have them take care of this. I'm gonna do that tomorrow morning, and I'll take you guys along with me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this portion of the video. I'll be sure to put links in the description below for all the products that I use for the power steering flush, and I'll see you in the morning. Performance in Midvale, Utah. Let's get some fluids changed. They got a lot of cool cars here, a lot of Mustangs. There's a GTO. This is a pretty popular shop in Utah, if I haven't said that already. There's a cool Firebird right there. Camaro C6. Lots of cool stuff. Cool Oldsmobile. And now a sweet 89 Corvette. All right guys, the C4 is checked in. Sorry for the road noise, but here's some more cool cars that are here. There's another C6 Z06. Looks like a Dodge Magnum. Pretty cool little Lightning here. You don't see those very often. cool RS7. So they're gonna keep the car for the day, and we'll be back a little bit later on to pick it up. All right, guys, I just paid and I'm back in the C4. They did it pretty quickly. They only had the car for about a half day, which is really good and impressive. So happy about that. As far as price goes, it came out to about 350 bucks to change the tranny fluid and the differential fluid with synthetic fluids. And they also obviously used a new gasket on the transmission pan and a new filter. So not bad. That's gonna do it for this video, guys. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please give it a big thumbs up. Take care, and I will see you in the next one.